Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. They say cream rises to the top, but I'm afraid so does dross, and this particular dross is Keith Brown, the Deputy Leader of the SNP. Keith Brown, Clueless Keith as we'll call him, says that the party should send senior members to the All Under One banner meeting next month. But of course, this is on the same day as the SNP is having its independence convention. That is not a mistake. It was deliberately done so that Humza Yousaf could distance himself from the All Under One banner. Because obviously some of the people attending that, some of the groups, are either very racist or potentially, let's just say, prone to direct physical action, and leave it at that. And of course he doesn't want to be tying the SNP to people who have got that kind of mentality. But, you know, Clueless Keith carries on. He says that this is wrong. He says it's wrong for different parts of the independence movement to attack each other. Well, hell, Keith, you need to look at the SNP. You're hardly united either. You're divided on the gender bill. You're divided on the DRS. Hell, you're even divided on how to go about getting independence. The SNP is riven with division. So it's not surprising that all the other parties also are divided. But take a look at this article and see what is really upsetting Clueless Keith and what he can do about it. Very little, I suspect. Here goes. Unfortunate that parts of independence movement attack each other, says Clueless Keith Brown. The SNP was branded contemptuous after announcing a one-day conference would be held on the same day as a pro-independence march. And there he is looking, baffled. The SNP's deputy leader has said it is unfortunate that different parts of the independence movement attack each other after a spat between the party and a prominent activist group. All Under One banner, which has organised some of the most substantial pro-separation marches and rallies in recent years, accused the party of being contemptuous on Sunday after it emerged a special convention on independence would be held on the same day as one of their events. The delayed conference was originally due to be held in March, but was postponed following the resignation of Nicola Sturgeon. And of course, there's no way Humza Yousaf was going to be attending this All Under One banner, because he knows it could be misconstrued, and if there's any sort of showing of propriety probity between him and some of these more extreme groups, it can be linked directly to him. He doesn't want that particular albatross placed round his neck. Over the weekend, the SNP announced it would take place on the 24th of June, the same day as the AUOB, the All Under One banner march in Stirling. In a tweet, the group said, "We wrote to Humza inviting him to speak at Stirling 24th of June and received a weird reply, swiftly followed by news that he's chosen to clash with the national demonstration by holding an SNP conference on the same day. Why? Reactionary and contemptuous, de facto anti-yes behaviour." Well, it's hardly that, is it? He's holding an independence meeting. It's not anti-yes, it's just anti-you, and you don't like that. But that's how it goes. But speaking to BBC Radio Scotland on Monday, Keith Brown said, "I think it's unfortunate when parts of the Yes movement have that kind of go at each other, to be honest." He says, "I've attended any number of AOUB marches." Of course you have, my dear. Of course you have, because you like to push yourselves out there. But I don't think you understand the full potential of some of these people that you're mixing with. Anyway, he says he's spoken at many of them indeed, and this is the case that in the last week before the summer recess, this is the date in which the SNP needs to have its discussion on. Mr Brown went on to say there should be different activities held across the Yes movement. There's nothing wrong with the SNP, its members demanding and having the opportunity to discuss a strategy for the way forward for independence and the next Westminster election. The former Scottish Government minister added that the SNP was perfectly entitled to discuss its strategy and independence, saying we're not going to achieve independence without a wider Yes movement. And just as a wider Yes movement won't achieve it without the SNP. Well, you aren't ever going to get the wider Yes movement. One of the things that's come out is the 48%. The SNP and the SNP supporting press, predominantly the National, which is basically the sort of the publishing wing of the SNP, they seem fixated with this 48% figure, which they keep pushing as being the figure that is prepared in Scotland to say yes to independence. But of course the figure's nowhere near that. It's only twice in the last 10 polls been over 46%, and it's actually averaging something like 42. There have even been polls where it's been under 40, and indeed on the only 2 polls where it was over 46, both of them strangely were commissioned by the National. So how much belief you can put in it is anybody's guess. And another thing that Clueless Keith was saying was he described the United Kingdom as a rogue state. He says that if we have this referendum, if we have this next election in Scotland, next general election, and we declare it as a de facto referendum, which I covered in an earlier video, it won't stand, of course. But he's saying if they have that, and the United Kingdom government does not accept it, they are little more than a rogue state, and they're treating Scotland as little more than French Polynesia. I mean, if you're trying to compare Scotland to French Polynesia, I'm thinking in your dreams, mate. Tahiti, yeah, it's a bit nicer than a wet Thursday afternoon in Kelso or something, isn't it? Anyway, he's mad. He's mad on these things. He's saying it's a completely illogical conclusion he's had. How on earth can you possibly draw a likeness between Tahiti and Scotland? It's rubbish, and certainly there is no legal basis for the treating of an election as a referendum. People in Scotland won't vote for that. They vote for the issues. They know that. And this is why they won't have it. This is why the first idea, when it was first mooted by Sturgeon, it was abandoned. And they know simply that, if they went ahead and did it, and they lose, independence is dead in the water. They know they're not even going to get Indy Ref 2 in 10 years' time. Because they go, well, you've had 2 of them now, and they both lost, so he won't do it. And that's why they won't. And that is why this guy, Clueless Keith, keeps coming up with all these, I'm going to use the word bright ideas, but they're not bright at all. But he's got nothing else to offer. So he just regurgitates the same old crap. But really, I don't think you can possibly compare the United Kingdom as a rogue state, and certainly can't compare Scotland to French Polynesia. You're full of it, Keith. Go back, read a geography book for number one thing, read a history book for second, and then go and find a job more suited to your talents. Stacking shelves, perhaps. Something that doesn't involve much thinking. Anyway, I shall round off there. Come up. We know every single political party has 1 or 2 morons in it. The Tories have the likes of Dominic Raab or Matt Hancock. Labour certainly has Diane Abbott, but the SNP seem to have more than their fair share. Indeed, it seems to be one of the prerequisites for joining them. You've got to be shown to have a very low IQ, a total lack of grasp of reality, the ability to be able to spout out the most awful things, but do so with a straight face and actually appear to mean it. And then to do the complete opposite of what common sense would dictate. And it isn't random. If it was random, they'd get some things right. But the SNP get everything wrong. And it is in people like Clueless Keith Brown that this very embodiment of uselessness and stupidity is so apparent. But, it's up to them. They're the party. They pick him. It's just the poor people of Scotland have to put up with all this crap, really. But, hey, come the next election, who knows? 1 or 2 of them might be whittled away. Labour will come along. They're estimated to take about 20 seats. Let's hope they can take some of the thicker ones away and just generally raise the IQ somewhat in Holyrood. Wouldn't take much, though, would it? I mean, it's at fairly floor level at the moment. But yeah, it's just astounding that this man has got to that kind of level. You wonder how. There's people. Surely he'd have been found out by now. This is the thing. We know. Why does nobody in the SNP recognise it? They must all be thicker than champ. Anyway, I'm round off. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well. Don't get into a discussion with these people. They'll drag you down to their level. And I'll see you later. Bye.